So Stephen, what are we going to be covering today?
Well, over the next few minutes, we're going to be covering the core rules, core concepts, and then we're going to be playing a demo game.
What is, in a nutshell, Warhammer Age of Sigmar?
Well, it's a strategy tabletop game using miniatures like we have in front of us, and it's two armies that are going to pit against each other. The miniatures are what represent our epic heroes, our battle line troops, and we're going to be using those to hopefully destroy each other, hold objectives, score some points, and determine who's going to be the victor.
Like most Games Workshop products, these come unassembled.
They do, so that will mean you're going to have to build them, you're going to have to paint them, but with that gives you some flexibility to paint them in any style that you want, whether it's the classic scheme that you see on the front of the box art, or maybe something weird and wacky like yourself, JT.
I love weird and wacky.
I know.
And then what else do we need?
You are going to need some basic equipment. The first one is a tape measure. The entire game is measured in inches from how far you're going to move your models to checking range of some of those really cool magic powers, or maybe shooting some of those guns that I know you like. Dice. Dice represent the likelihood of success. We need a table. But just like the beautiful one we have in front of us, this Skaven themed board. Ideally, you want a table that is 60 inches by 44 for a standard size 2,000 point game.
How do we set up our battle?
Okay, so the first thing that you're going to need is the General's Handbook. Now, the General Handbook tells you everything you need to know about the season of Age of Sigmar. Things will change and develop, but most importantly, in that General's Handbook, it contains a series of battle plans. These battle plans will contain all the information you need, essentially contain the mission parameters, how you're going to hold your objectives, where they're going to go, where the players' territories are, so where I'm going to deploy my army and where you're going to deploy yours. It's also going to tell us where we're going to place the terrain features, how many we need, and what they do for us. It's most importantly, it's going to tell us how we become the victor of that mission, how many victory points we score for holding those objectives, and also there's a twist.
A twist?
That twist is going to be different from battle plan to battle plan to either help you get back into the game if you're the underdog, or maybe just give us something different to experience while we're playing.
So you will need miniatures, a tape measure, dice, a place to play to set up your 60 by 44 board, the General's Handbook to pull your battle plan, and hopefully someone to play the game with. So now we're set up and ready to go. We have everything we need. What does a game of Age of Sigmar look like?
Well, we're both going to play 5 battle rounds. Those battle rounds are going to be divided up into what we call player turns, and we're each going to have one in each of those battle rounds. These turns will be broken down into phases, and it's in these phases we're going to move our models, cast our magic powers, shoot our enemies, make some charges, and do some killing in combat.
Those phases are the start of turn, the hero phase, the movement phase, the shooting phase, the charge phase, the combat phase, and end of turn.
The player who's taking the turn, also known as the active player, can perform any of their abilities during that phase that are specific to that phase. And everything's keyworded to either be your phase, enemy phase, or any phase.
So I understand that in Age of Sigmar, there are cool abilities you can do outside the normal sequences called commands.
We can both interact in each other's phases, and often to trigger some of those, you're going to be using what's called command points to trigger those commands that are very specific to those phases. And when we start in the battle round, we're both going to receive the same amount of command points unless you're the underdog and you get a little bit more.
Roll off, and whoever wins that roll off chooses to deploy first or second?
Correct. So once you've deployed all your units by alternating or by regiment, it will depend on the rules. However, whoever finishes first gets to pick whether they go first or second of that first battle round. After which point, when we're in battle round 2 and onwards, we're going to roll off and the winner gets to choose.
Ah, the infamous Age of Sigmar double turn potential.
Now, this is a great change for Age of Sigmar. If you take the double turn, you cannot score a battle tactic. And a battle tactic is some extra victory points you can pick up along the course of the game.
If I'm going first, let's say, how do I start my turn?
First thing that you need to do is choose one of those battle tactics. There are 6 universal battle tactics that you can choose from. These are once per game, so if you don't score them first time, unfortunately, you're not going to get a second chance at doing so. So be extremely careful when you choose them, because these will lead to massive victory points that can build up over the course of the game and hopefully help you become the victor.
What actually happens in the hero phase?
So in the hero phase, it's time to inspire our troops. Use any of those heroic abilities that you'll see that are in gold. You can maybe chant some prayers, cast some magical powers.
Do some fun heroic stuff.
Exactly that.
Movement phase seems kind of straightforward.
So your movement will be indicated by your war scroll. So on your war scroll, there's a great little wheel which will tell you exactly how far you can move, and make sure you don't move any further unless you're doing something like a run, which allows you to run a little bit further by rolling a d6.
Shooting phase, that one seems kind of straightforward as well.
Shoot your enemies dead, remove their models.
Sounds like fun to me. Charge phase. How does the charge phase differ in Age of Sigmar? Because this was one that caught me out when I read it, and it didn't quite make sense to me at first.
Pick one of your units, roll 2 dice. That is how many inches your unit can go, providing it can end within half an inch of an enemy model.
Is it a specific enemy model?
Any.
Any. So you roll the dice, see how far you get to go, and then decide which unit you're going to engage with.
Exactly that.
So I'd imagine combat phase is where we get to smack each other.
Exactly that. Get the big hammers, the flaming sword, the monstrous talons, just rip each other apart.
The end phase.
Count up how many victory points, digital your battle tactic, and proceed then to the next player's turn.
So all of the information you need in order to use your models on the tabletop will be contained on that unit's war scroll. You move a number of inches as determined on the war scroll under move. So looking at my war scroll, Prosecutor's movement is 12 inches.
That's exactly it. That's exactly how far they can move.
When you move your models, measure from the front of the base to the front of the base, or from the back of the base to the back of the base. Be consistent and make sure you don't move farther than you're supposed to. And their ranged weapons are listed here as javelins. So if I want to throw my javelins at the clan rats, how do I go about doing that?
Well, the first thing that you need to do is measure to see if you actually have range. Now, with ranged attacks, the range will be indicated on the war scroll. However, when you're in combat, the range is always 3 inches. But with these javelins, 10-inch range, you need to check if you've got visibility, i.e. can you draw a line of sight to the enemy model that you want to shoot? Then what you need to do is determine exactly how many attacks you have. And the attack sequence, whether you're attacking with ranged attacks or combat, is exactly the same.
Prosecutors have 1 attack each with their javelins on their war scroll, and I have 3 models, so that means I have 3 attacks.
You got it. And each of those attacks will be represented by a dice that you're going to roll. Can you actually hit the target? First of all, you need to check to see what the hit roll is on the war scroll. Here you can see is a 3+.
So I need to roll a 3 or higher. A 1 or 2 will fail, and a 3 or more would be a successful hit.
1s always fail, and 6s are always great.
Now that I've hit the clan rats, now I have to roll to wound them.
Check out the war scroll. Again, it's a 3+. Same deal. Can we even hurt our enemy?
I've wounded you. How do I actually damage the unit?
First thing that we need to see is the armor save of my unit, which is the clan rat, which is, as you can see on the war scroll, a 5+. If there is 0 rend characteristic to your weapon, I would just need to roll a dice, and if it's a 5 or a 6, it would be fine.
Armor would stop the blow coming in.
Exactly, then no damage would be taken. However, you've got a rend characteristic of 1 on those javelins. And what's going to happen is we're going to modify the dice. So we're going to roll all the saving throws and then modify all the dice down by 1. So if I rolled any 5s, they're now going to become 4s. And therefore, that is less than a 5 and they're going to fail. Whereas those 6s that I rolled become 5s, they're still a success.
So rend is a number that subtracts from your dice roll. It's a penalty to your opponent's armor save.
You got it. Now, different to what we mentioned earlier, 6s don't always pass. Sometimes, if the armor penetration is so good, you might not even get a save. Any that damage that does go through goes into what we call a damage pool. So to put damage in the damage pool, what you need to do is take all of those failed saves, and then what you're going to do is multiply that by the damage characteristic of the attacking unit. 2 went through.
So we roll a d6 and half the result rounded up.
Here's the next thing. We need to see how many models that kills. So we need to check the war scroll of the health characteristic of the enemy unit. The clan rats, it's a 1.
So if I had 4 damage in my damage pool, then I would remove 4 clan rats until the damage pool was emptied.
Got it, exactly that.
Or even 1 whole rat ogre.
With the rat ogre example, if we had done 6 damage, your health characteristic on those rat ogres is 4. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove a rat ogre because 4 is less than 6. And then that remaining 2 damage is going to then be allocated to the unit. And the best way to do that is leave a dice next to the unit with a 2 on, so you know next time damage is applied, that will start to stack up and carry over.
Ah, I see. So as long as the health of a unit is less than the wounds in the damage pool, you remove models until you can no longer remove models.
You got it.
And anything remaining is allocated to the unit as damage.
And it doesn't even matter what model you allocate it to because it's being allocated to the unit. So that means your champions, musicians, and banner guys should remain until the very end.
So looking at the wheel, there's another number here. We've seen save, we've seen move, and we've seen health. What is control?
The control is how well your unit can control an objective. So here we've got those 3 prosecutors. If their control score is 1, we've got a total control score of 3, providing each of those models are within 3 inches of that objective marker.
So if you have control 3 and I have control 4, that means I control the objective because my control number is higher than yours. Reading my war scroll, what are all these keywords at the bottom of the sheet?
These are going to help you identify what your unit can do in relationship to the core rules, such as the prosecutors have the fly keyword. That allows them to jump over terrain without any penalties. These keywords can also help you determine how you're going to organize your army and your force. And with that being said, we probably should get on and play this game.
It's gonna be Mubin and Goldie. Here we go.
We're here at the table. Goldie, how excited are you?
Very excited.
Mubin?
I'm pumped.
First thing we need to go over is that you've selected your armies. In Goldie, you've gone for the Stormcast Eternals. And Mubin, you've gone for
The Skaven.
First thing that we need to go over is actually how you construct your army. You're going to have to select one of your heroes, and you'll see that on your war scroll, to be the general. So your war scroll is going to look a little bit like this. And for example, it said hero there. Sometimes your opponent can get benefits when they kill the general. So putting it on something that's super powerful, super durable can often be a great shout. For you, Goldie, you can either pick the Lord Vigilant or the Lord Vervitant.
I feel like he screams general.
Goldie is gonna be playing the Stormcast Eternals. The Lord Vigilant is her general, and he's a powerful model, leading the charge in the God King's name. The Lord Veritant, a witch hunter and priest of the realm, bringing cleansing fire and abilities to chant prayers. She's got 3 prosecutors, which will swoop across the battlefield with their javelins and shields to bring death to the enemy at its weakest points. And 5 liberators, most famous of the Stormcast, wielding huge hammers to crush their foes and hold the line.
Mubin, who is going to be your general?
Mine has to be the Claw Lord on the Beast.
Mubin has got a Claw Lord on a Gnaw Beast, a foul and ferocious, cunning warlord that will lead his vermin horde. His Grey Seer is a powerful Skaven wizard, bringing magic from the Great Horned Rat. The Warlock Engineer brings death from afar with crazy rat warp inventions from the Skaven Engineering Corps. He's got 2 squads of 10 clan rats, endless swarms to surround the enemy and bring the true meaning of death by 1,000 cuts. He also has 3 rat ogres, mutated hulking rat men, enlarged to brutalize the enemy in close range combat.
Your army's going to act and feel so different from each other, and they're determined by something called battle trays. Imagine rules that are really independent for your army that's going to be so different to Mubin's. To give you an example of one of your battle trays for the Stormcast, you can actually put one of your units in the Celestial Realm, which basically means you don't have to deploy them on the table. They can wait in kind of like an orbit and deep strike and sort of appear on the table wherever they want later on in the game.
They're waiting.
They're waiting to come on, strike wherever the enemy's weakest. So that's kind of one of yours, and you're going to get many as a Stormcast player, but I think we just focus on that one today. Mubin, you also get a battle tray.
Normally, when you make a retreat action, you take damage. But because the Skaven are so slippery and they love to scurry away, I don't get to take damage, I just get to retreat.
Now, when you're forming your army, you actually get to select what is called a battle formation, a particular rule that you select when you're writing your army list, and then it's going to affect some of the units in your army depending on the keywords that you have. The one that we're going to go for is called Ancient Aura, and that's going to give one of your units with the correct keyword a 5+ ward save. Now, don't worry too much about that right now. We're going to come on to what that means later on, but it's going to be a saving throw that's going to help keep your models alive just that little bit longer.
Got it.
Okay, Mubin, which one have you selected?
I've gone for the Claw Horde, which allows my clan rats and my Claw Lord himself to get an extra rend when they make charges.
Okay, so that's going to help you be more effective when you make a charge and get into combat. So now the battlefield's set up, the terrain is down, you know what's in your armies. Now it's time for deployment. Now this is where we're going to place our miniatures onto the tabletop in a place where we can set them up for success at the table. So in order to determine who is going to be deploying their units first, I need you to both roll a dice.
Ready?
I got a 5.
I got a 4.
Mubin, would you like to be the attacker or the defender? If you choose to be the attacker, you'll get to place your models down first.
I think the Skaven do fit into the theme of being an attacker, so I will be the attacker.
When you're deploying your army, you have to place your army in your territory. And the territory today is split right the way down the middle and all the way back to your table edge.
This is mine.
This is all yours.
This is mine.
We're going to start alternating deployment. Mubin, do you have any keywords at the bottom of your war scroll that are shared by one of your heroes and any of the other units in your army?
Clan Rats and the Claw Lord all share the Verminous keyword.
Because they all share the same one, your general can select up to 4 other units that share the same keyword and can all be deployed together at the same time. And then the others, you'll have to alternate between Goldie's regiments that can be deployed together. What you need to do, deploy your first unit down, make sure when you place your models down, they're 9 inches away from our territory, and also in coherency. Now that basically means your models have to stay relatively close together. They need to stay within ½ an inch of another friendly model. When there is 7 or more models, they have to be within ½ an inch of 2 other friendly models from the same unit. Keep deploying all the units from that same regiment.
We're just going to continue with more Clan Rats. And then last but not least, the Claw Lord himself.
Okay, Goldie, you need to select one of your regiments. There's no real bad decision, so any is fine.
Okay, let's go with this guy first.
Okay.
This is now mine.
Yep.
Let's have the Gracier join in on the fun. Or as I like to call him, Ratagast.
I'm gonna put them in a defensive line.
These are some top tactics already.
Thanks.
Yep, perfect.
Warlock Engineer. Just spying on you with a spyglass.
Your final regiment to deploy. You have the opportunity to put these in the celestial realm and they can start off the table, or you can start them on the table.
Let's keep him in the celestial.
They're gonna wait and come on later.
Yeah.
I love it.
He wants to go here. He's gonna try and get that objective on the beautiful green gems.
I think the Rat Ogres want the General and some Warpstone.
Okay.
Oh, this is going to be a good shot right there. Just coming out of the cracks.
Okay, so we're all deployed.
Yeah.
You guys finished deploying first.
Yeah, now you have a very powerful decision now, Goldie.
Oh, great.
This is gonna be going into battle round 1 of 5. You have the choice. Do you wanna go first, or do you wanna make Mubin go first?
I think I'm gonna make Mubin go first.
That is a great decision.
It's not a bad idea.
Are you ready for turn 1?
I'm ready for turn 1.
Before we do this, you need to shake hands.
Of course.
Let's do this.
Good luck, Goldie.
Good luck.
Now, we are in the first part of the battle round, which means you are both going to get 4 command points. Make sure you use them. They're very powerful, and they can be spent on what's called commands. Commands can help you interact in your opponent's either movement phase by moving one of your units, or maybe shooting in their shooting phase, or maybe countercharging in their charge phase. So they can be used to either bolster the defenses or help you impact more damage. Now, they are going to disappear at the end of this battle round, and they'll be replenished with another 4. Mubin, now we're in the start of your turn. We're in your what's called the start of turn sequence. There's only one thing that you need to do here, and that is use any abilities that specifically say start of the battle, which is picking a battle tactic for the turn. Got 6 to choose from that are universal, and then 2 for your allegiance, because you are Allegiance of Chaos.
Going first, I've got a nice opportunity to just seize the center.
You're going to seize the center. You need 2 units within
I do.
3 inches of the center and not in combat. So don't try any charges, Mubin.
No, I'm not going to go for any cheeky charges because those hammers are a little scary.
Yeah.
So I'd rather they stay on that side of the table.
Next up is the hero phase. A lot of those hero abilities might have something that can either affect your army. Maybe it makes them a little bit better. Maybe they can cast some magic, chant some prayers,
I will have the Gracier cast a spell.
a magic power. You're going to need to roll 2 dice. And on the power, it will tell you what you need in order to be successful.
For the spell that I'm going to cast, which is Skitter Leap, I can select a friendly hero. If it's successful and I roll a 6 or higher, I can pick him up and put him down somewhere else 9 inches away from any of the Stormcast models. First, I'm going to use his ability Warpstone Shards to roll 3 dice instead of just the normal 2. That's my casting roll. Now, I've only rolled an 11. The Gracier's ability says that if I roll 13 or higher, I can use all 3 dice, and you can't unbind it. If not, I get to drop one of the dice and take that casting roll. So I've rolled a 9.
Okay, now you can unbind this. The Lord Vivitant can actually unbind powers. So what you need to do to try to unbind it is roll 2 dice and exceed Mubin's roll. Okay, you rolled a 7.
Yeah.
So that means the power's successful.
Yes! So I get to pick my target, my Warlock Engineer, remove him from the battlefield, and then set him up again wherever I like, more than 9 away from enemy models. I'm just being a sneaky rat.
Do you have any other hero phase abilities?
That is it for my hero phase.
At the end of Mubin's hero phase, you now have the opportunity to resolve any hero phase that you can. You do have one, and it's called the Ancient Aura. You can pick one of your units with a particular Ruination Chamber keyword, which is the Lord Vivitant or the Lord Vigilant, to have a 5+ ward until the end of this turn. Which one would you like to choose?
I think him. He's got his defense line. He's kind of further back. And those guys, I feel like, are eyeing him.
We're watching him. He's coming for our warp stones.
The ward save that you've just given the Lord Vigilant, when the attacks get through the armor, you then kind of have like a shrug ability where you can just shrug that damage off on a 5+ or more. Gives you kind of like 2 saves instead of 1. Time for the movement phase.
Let's do some moving.
When you're selecting a unit to move, you can basically do one of 3 types of moves. You can just make a normal move. At the end of that, you'll be able to shoot and charge. However, if you would like to what's called run, you can move up to the distance shown on your Warscroll, but you can also roll an additional d6, and whatever that number is, you can add that to the characteristics of your movement, okay? But you won't be able to shoot or make a charge roll this turn. The other one is make a retreat move. You're not in combat, you don't need to worry about it.
I'm going to start running, and I'm going to start with this unit of clan rats here. So they move 6 inches normally, and then I'm going to roll a d6, and we'll see how far they get to go.
Yep.
2.
Up to 8 in any direction.
We're going to go straight for the center.
Now, when you make your move, you need to make sure you end in coherency again, and you cannot move through other models.
I'm going to go with the next unit of clan rats.
Okay, cool.
They only get a 1.
Look at all those rats.
Rats everywhere. Gracier's going to just make his normal move of 6 and move up behind these clan rats. The Claw Lord can't go anywhere without his friends. He's just been set up, so he's actually happy where he is. Now I want to move these rat ogres forward. Now Steven, you notice I've got a couple of them that are either blocked or, especially this one, who's hiding behind a wall. Can I actually get him through that wall?
You can't move through it, but you can move over it, or you can move around it. Measuring the distance up, measuring across, and then measuring down.
I'm going to run these rat ogres because I don't really want to waste movement climbing over this wall, and I do want to try and go for that objective.
I mentioned earlier that you've got 4 command points. Now these command points can be spent on what's called commands. And there's a really powerful one that you could use. It's called At the Double. You use it in your movement phase, and it allows you to make a run of an automatic result of a 6 on the dice.
So I don't have to roll the dice.
There's no risk.
I just go for it. For this one, I think I will spend that 1 command point, go down to 3, and we're gonna make that run. Oh yeah. Now, do I have to move the full 12?
You can move up to 12, but no further.
Perfect. So we're gonna stay nice and safe. Stay a little bit further away.
So now it's time for the
shooting
phase. Yeah.
There's only 1 unit that I'm actually going to be shooting with, because the Claw Lord, unfortunately, is a little too far away. His rattling pistol only gets 10 inches of range, and everyone else ran. So it's just going to be my Warlock Engineer. He doesn't like the cut of their jib. Those hammers are scary, so the Liberators must go down. Now, he's equipped with a Warp Lock musket, which gives me 2 dice for number of attacks. I also need a 3 to hit, and then a 3 to wound.
Okay, and what is the rend characteristic?
He has a rend of 2, and he does D3 damage.
This is a pretty powerful attack. Can I give you some advice here?
Please do.
So it's rend 2, which means your 3+ armor save is going to be significantly impacted by this shot. What I suggest we do is we spend one of our precious command points called All Out Defense, and that actually gives us +1 to our armor save, which is going to help us be more successful when we're making those saving throws, so hopefully our armor holds true.
That sounds good.
So we're going to spend one of our CPs?
Absolutely.
Down to 3.
Time to try and hit them.
1 hit.
1 hit, and I miss with 1. Now I need a 3 to wound as well.
Okay.
That is a successful wound.
You've got a 3+ save, so a 3 or more is what you need.
Okay.
We are going to get +1 to that, which means any of our 2s become 3s, Mubin Rend is -2. 2s are no longer going to be any good to us. 3s are no longer going to be good to us.
It's gonna have to be 4, isn't it?
It's going to have to be 4s.
All right, here we go.
What'd you get?
5.
Hey, there you go.
Easy.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening here.
We're going with a handshake. I like it.
Well, with that, my shooting phase is complete. I've got no charges to make. Is there anything you want to do in my charge phase?
We could do something called countercharge, which would cost you 2 command points and would let you make a charge move. But because the distance is so massive, I'd probably not go for it because you'll probably fail it. Okay?
That's fair.
So with that, there's no combats to have because nobody's in combat range of that 3 inches. So therefore, Mubin, we conclude your first turn. Count up what you scored.
What do I score, Steven?
So the mission rule is called Border War. Now that basically gives you a certain amount of victory points depending on the objectives that you hold.
Scoring in Age of Sigmar is based on which battle plan you are playing. Today, it's Border War. Middle objectives are worth 2 points each, and the home objective is worth 1 to the owning player and 5 to the opposing player, to a maximum of 6 victory points per turn. Control of objectives is checked at the beginning of the game and again at the end of each player turn.
So Mubin, you hold your objective in your home territory. That will score you 1 point. You also have more control, which is seen on your Warscroll, within 3 inches of the objective, also known as combat range, of this objective, so that will get you 2 points in addition. And you're also, with your cheeky magic power, engineer over to there, that's another 2 points. Now you also completed your battle tactic because you got 2 units within 3 of the center. Another 4 points for a total of 9-point turn, Mubin.
That's pretty good. I'll take it.
Now we go into your turn, Goldie.
Choosing the right battle tactic at the right time is key in Age of Sigmar. You can only attempt each tactic once per game, so knowing when to do so and even setting up and positioning for scoring next turn is key to getting those big points.
I'm thinking maybe do not waver or slay the entourage.
Slay the entourage means we need to destroy one of Mubin's units from his general's regiment, which is basically the clan rats. You've only got 5 liberators, and although they are good, they might not do exactly enough damage. Do not waver just means we need to get 2 of our units into combat and survive. So I reckon we go for do not waver, and then once we've whittled down the clan rats a little bit, we try and go for slay the entourage later on. Okay, so now it's time to go into the hero phase.
Time to be a hero.
He's the chosen one.
He's the chosen
I have the high ground.
Okay, there is one more thing you can do in your hero phase.
Fantastic.
You can chant a prayer with your priest. So we're going to consult the prayer law. One of them allows you to heal one of your units, but you haven't taken any damage, so there's nothing to really heal at the moment. Another one allows you to have +1 attack to its characteristics of the unit, or another one which allows you to set up one of your units outside of 9 from one of Mubin's units, so it kind of comes off the table and comes back on. I think you should try and go for +1 attack.
I like it. More power.
So as you can see, you need to roll what's on 1 dice, the chant value, which is a 6 in this case.
Oh.
So it's unlikely to happen, but if you do, it's going to be magical, and if you don't worry. We get to keep the result, and we get to save it for later so we can build up the power for another turn.
Priests have an interesting mechanic in Age of Sigmar. They can actually keep their dice in the hopes of succeeding at a higher difficulty prayer in a later turn.
Let's do it.
A 3.
Okay.
Okay,
Well,
so you didn't do the prayer, but that's okay, because that 3 is going to stay with him. So next time you try and do it, you only need to roll another 3. Okay, Goldie, you've got another hero phase ability. It's called Your Finest Hour. This is a once per battle effect you can put on one of your units.
Once per turn abilities are very strong. Always be wary of what you can do and what your opponent can do. As in this case, Your Finest Hour will give a unit +1 to wound rolls and +1 to their save. However, its limitation is a unit can only be affected by it once per game, so it's a resource that you must manage correctly if you hope to win the day.
It would help him certainly deal with the ogres a little bit more, and also survive, and you have to survive this turn because of your battle tactic.
let's do it.
Let's do it.
Prepare to die.
Hero phase complete, so you've got plenty of move.
Yep. Here he comes. Da, 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 da.
That little stick is 3 inches, so
Perfect.
that's going to help you be just over 3 inches away.
So the prosecutors are going to stay up in the skies.
Yep, they're chilling.
At the end of your move, though, I will spend one of my precious command points. I'm going to redeploy my rat ogres.
How far are they going to go, Mubin?
Come on, boys. I know you got this. Ooh, 5.
Okay, so now it's time for the shooting phase. We don't have any shooting. Mubin, would you like to do any shooting in our shooting phase?
I could, but I don't think I will.
So in that case, we're on to the charge phase. So what you need to do is you need to select one of your units on the table.
Okay.
You've got 3 to choose from.
Let's start with the Liberator.
Great choice. You're going to roll 2 dice, and that is how far you can move.
It's a 5!
You're in.
I did it.
So to make the charge move, all you need to do is now move one model up to 5 inches, and providing you end within half an inch, which you do, is successful.
Perfect.
Okay,
He's gonna go right here.
perfect.
Time to die. My first instinct is to keep him on the objective, but what would you do? What would you
I think that's a solid plan, yeah.
Okay.
Lord Vigilant next. This is the important one. You need to roll a 7. You've rolled a 2 and a...
1.
It's
So
a
that-
3.
Okay, so that's a fail.
Yeah.
But don't worry, we can use one of our command points and re-roll both dice. So you're down to 2. Yes, we've got
Nice.
an 8. It is time for the combat. You're the active player. You're going to alternate combats, and there's currently a combat going on here and a combat going on here. So you get to pick the first unit that fights.
I want to find out what Lord Vigilant's gonna do.
And that is the best choice. There's a command you can use now. Remember, you've got your finest hour. You're going to get +1 to wound, which is a modifier that's going to help you make more damage go through. But we still need to hit, and you're hitting on 3s.
Okay.
You could spend one of your command points. You've got 2, and remember, they're going to be gone at the end of this turn. You can spend 1 for what's called all-out attack, and that's going to allow you to get +1 to your dice rolls, which means any 2s become 3s, and they're also successful.
Let's do it.
Okay, good choice, good
Yeah.
choice, good choice.
So you're going with an all-out attack with the Lord Vigilant, which means I'm going to spend one of my precious command points, because those rat ogres are so very dear to me, and I'm going to all-out defense.
So that means his saving throw is going to be improved by 1, but that's okay. We're Ren 2. It's still all right.
Yeah.
You get 5 attacks with your hollowed great axe. So you need 3s to be successful.
Okay.
Any ones?
Nope, not a single one.
Perfect. Okay, now pick them all up.
All right.
Now we need to wound. So we've hit them. We now
Okay.
need to hurt them. Would normally be 3s, but you get that +1, so you need 2s.
All right, let's do it.
Any ones?
No.
No, but those 2s would have failed. So that
would
your
have.
finest hour here really helping. Mubin, it's time for you to make some saves.
Now, what's the rend on this?
What is the rend on your hollowed great axe?
2.
Okay.
All right.
What is your saving throw?
I have a 5 normally,
But you're getting +1.
because I did all-out defense, which means I'm looking for 6s. Let's see if I can get some 6s here. I got 2.
Okay. The hallowed great axe is 2 damage. So how many went through?
So 3 of them went through.
So that's a total of 6 damage. And Mubin, how much health does each of your rat ogres
Each
have?
of my rat ogres only have a whopping 4 health.
4 health. Okay, so we're going to create a damage pool of 6. Now what happens here is when the damage pool exceeds the health characteristic of one of the models, we get rid of 1. So that is 4. But the remaining 2 damage stays in the pool of damage. Okay, time for the Griffhound.
All right.
3 attacks.
3, so 3 dice.
Yep, you need 3s to hit. It's all that attack, which is affecting the hit roll. Normally it'd be 4s, it's going to 3s. Okay, 1 miss. That's okay. Get rid of the 2 and roll the 3 and the 6 again. Because of your finest hour, it's going to be 2s.
Okay. Let's see.
You're good. Okay. The rend is 1. Get +1 save, so it's just going to be, they're going to cancel each other out.
Can I get some 5s? I make a 6 and a 4.
Okay, the damage is 2 Mubin,
So it's going to add another 2 to the pool.
which takes it to 4, which now equals the health characteristic. Another one dies. So now Mubin gets to choose one of his units to fight with. What you want to try and do, if you can, is kill some of these liberators to remove some of their attacks before they hammer you to death, as the vermin you are.
Hey now, that's not very nice. You know what? They are part of the Verminous clan. So they're not wrong.
I'm not wrong. Only models that have visibility and are within 3 inches can actually fight.
So right now, that's not a lot.
But the guys at the back probably want to get in on the action. So what we can do here is make a pile-in move.
Each of my clan rats have 2 attacks apiece, which means I'm gonna have a whopping 20 attacks. All-out attack.
Just gotta go for it, mate.
So thanks to all-out attack, I'm gonna be hitting on 3s, and then I'm wounding on 5s. However, their claws have a special critical ability, which means if I roll any 6s, I get to auto-wound.
Whee! So these 6s will automatically skip the wound stage. They've like hit and wounded you at the same time.
2 of my auto wounds, and then I still have another 11 successful hits. But now, because it is just, a few little clan rats scrabbling at your armor, I need 5s to wound.
You're not very strong, are you?
No, not really. Total of 8 successful wounds. No rend, though.
Okay, so your saving throw is a...
3.
So you only failed the 1.
Yeah.
Perfect! How much is the damage of those little rats?
Just a single damage.
You need to put a damage in the pool.
Okay.
Okay, just a dice with a 1 on it. And your health characteristic is a 2. So because the damage does not equal the health characteristic, one of them's just slightly wounded, but nobody's dead yet. Now it's time for you to pick a unit that's in combat. And you can't pick him. You can never use one of the core abilities twice unless it states otherwise. So the Liberators now. So when you make a pile-in move, that's it. Just don't end any further away than its current position from the closest enemy model. You've got 4 regular hammers, and you have a great hammer. And it doesn't matter in the order that you resolve these, it's gonna make no difference. But let's go with the great hammer first because it's super cool. You hit on 3s, but you've got a critical mortal wound. So if you roll any 6s, it skips the wound step. It even skips moving saving step and just immediately inflicts damage.
Ooh, I don't like that.
It's 2 damage each, so if you roll 2 6s here, 4 rats are gonna be instantly dead.
Yeah.
Oh! These 4 clan rats in the back, they're just gonna go to the great rat in the sky.
So now the other hammers, they're only 1 damage this time, they're not quite as powerful.
All right, here we go. 3 of them don't hit.
Get rid of those. And then the other 5, you need to wound on 3s.
All right.
Mubin, that is 4 saves, please, at rend 1.
Which means my clan rats do get a 6-up save here.
Any?
None.
So 4 more
Wow.
dead. Okay, now Mubin, it's time for you to pick a unit that's in combat.
I've only got the 1 unit left.
Well, no, because Goldie's pile-in move, actually, you've piled yourself within combat range of the other unit. So by accident, you've brought the other unit of rats into combat. So they're also gonna scratch and bite you.
You know what? We'll leave the rat ogre for last. I have more clan rats to fight with.
Oh, rats.
Okay, Goldie, this is another 20 attacks coming in. You've got 1 command point left. You could spend this on all-out defense to really help those shields give you just some extra protection.
I like that.
We're just gonna scratch and claw away at these liberators.
Let's do it, mate.
Okay, so a total of 6 wounds.
Oh.
Oh no.
Oh, yeah.
Don't roll another one though. Oh, okay.
Okay.
2 were unsuccessful. So that means the damage pool goes up to 3. Our health characteristic is 2. So it now exceeds 1. So 1 model of your choice can be removed from the table.
Let's do this guy back here.
His health is 2, which means we're going to take 2 off and leave the damage pool on 1.
So I've got 5 attacks with my rat ogre, who's the last unit I have left to fight. Hitting on 4s, wounding on 3s, and then he's got a rend of 1 with 2 damage.
Okay.
Let's see if he can scratch up this Lord Vigilant. He's doing good so far. 3 saves, rend 1.
Okay, so normally we'd go from a 3 to a 4 for our saves, but you've got that the finest hour on, so it's still 3s.
Let's see.
Remember I said earlier you got a ward save.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
What's the damage characteristic?
2 damage.
Okay, so that's going to go in the damage pool. But we don't have to inflict this or keep this just yet because we've got that ward save that I told you about.
Okay.
For each of these points in the damage pool during this attack sequence, you can roll a dice for each of those.
Okay.
And for every 5+, because that is the ability that you have, you can ignore them.
You've got a 6 and a 1.
Does a 6 work?
A 6 will be more than adequate.
Perfect.
Okay, so 1 has still gone through. So instead of taking 2 damage, we're only going to take 1 damage. We have a total of 8 health, so that means we've got 7 wounds left.
Okay.
that concludes all the fighting that I have, and I take it that's the end of the round.
It is. So now it's time to score some points because it is the end of your turn.
I like points.
Okay, so you're going to get 1 for holding the objective in your home territory. You're also going to get 2 for holding the objective which is in neither player's territory. You also completed your battle tactic because you have 2 units in combat and they both survived. At the end of battle round 1, Mubin, you're on 9. Goldie, you're on 7. That means going into the next battle round, you are going to be, congratulations, the underdog, which has a nice little benefit because...
Start of a new battle round.
Yep,
So I'm going to go up to 4 command points.
and you go up to 5 because you are the underdog.
Yeah.
In Warhammer Age of Sigmar, you don't just alternate who goes first. You have to roll off. And the winner can decide who is going to take the turn. Okay, now because you took the second turn, if you win this roll off, you could actually go again. And what's called seize the initiative to take the double turn. If you do take it though, because it's such a powerful ability, you will not be able to select a battle tactic to score.
Ooh.
So it allows you to deal a hammer blow, unfortunate detriment of not scoring any points for those additional battle tactics.
We gotta see what the dice have to say.
All right.
That's a 6.
And that's a
Okay,
3.
Mubin. Now you can give Goldie the turn and you can still claim the battle tactic because you've been given it. But Mubin, you could take the turn if you wish.
I absolutely will take the turn. I will go with Do Not Waver. 2 units in combat, fight through it, survive, and score those battle tactic points. The Gracier is going to try and cast another spell, Warpstone Shards, to boost up my magic power, going to cast Wither. I need a 6. I actually get a 13.
So you cannot even try to unbind this. This is just happening.
I have to take D3 mortal damage for this. For a whopping 3.
He might have ended up doing more damage to himself than he's going to do to you.
Let's find out. I did 2 damage to you.
2 damage goes in the damage pool. You don't have any ward saves, so now you need to inflict 2 points to a model. Okay, and then we change the allocated damage back to a 1.
Time to move some stuff around. These 4 little clan rats here don't want to be in combat anymore. I'm gonna make a retreat move.
Now, normally when you make a retreat move, it allows you to move through combat ranges of enemy models. However, you would take D3 mortal wounds.
My battle trait for running Skaven is I can actually use a retreat action and not be penalized by taking damage. And I just scurry away. My Clawlord can't really go anywhere further. I can't move through your combat range. This rat ogre, they came from behind the wall, back to the wall they shall go. I think that's where I'm going to end my movement. Now, Steven, I do want to actually shoot my engineer again, but there's this piece of terrain here, and there's a Lord Veritant out there.
This piece of terrain isn't obscuring like some of the larger pieces are. When you draw the line between this model and this model, because some of it is passing through this, you're going to be taking a -1 to hit modifier.
But I can still shoot him. Now the engineer, just like the other characters, also has a fancy roll. His is called more warp energy. So what that allows him to do is he rolls a d6. If he rolls a 1, he takes some mortal damage. If he doesn't roll a 1, he actually gets to turn his damage characteristic from a d3 to flat 3.
Just don't roll a 1 then.
We had to say that, didn't we?
Don't roll a 1.
I rolled a 2. Still got my 2 shots. 4s now. I only hit with 1. Can I do the damage though? No.
Oh, he's not wounded.
Misses.
Although this unit here is in combat, you're not, which means you're still able to shoot.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Rattling pistol away. So I rolled a 3.
Okay, so that's going to be 3 shots for 3 dice.
I got 2. And then just 1. At rend 1, 1 damage.
We'll find out. 4.
Can. You're safe. It's charge clock. We're gonna send the Clawlord in and see if he can take out these pesky liberators. It's 2d6. He gets a 4. It's just enough.
There's a command you can use for 2 CPs though, or 2 command points. It's called countercharge. So you can try the countercharge on the rat ogre.
Don't do it, it's a trap.
I think I should do that. I'm going to try it.
Okay,
All right.
so roll 2 dice and see how far you go.
All right.
Does 7 get you within half an inch?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
He's
it
back
does.
in.
Even.
Where would you like to fight first?
I'm going with the Claw Lord first. Spend a command point for all-out attack. He's going for it.
Let's keep him alive. Let's
Okay.
spend the command point.
Down to 2.
So going for all-out defense. I'm hitting on 3s normally, going down to 2s now. Misses with 1, wounding on 3s.
Okay.
Only 1. Rend 1.
So it would be 4s you would need, but because you've got all-out defense, you're back on 3s again.
Totally easy. Yes, easy.
Very apparently.
6.
Now his Gnaw Beast is going to try and gnaw at the Liberators. Gets 2 wounds.
Well,
Oh, no. That's not a good
no,
start.
it's not.
That's the 3. It's a damage moving.
D3.
Oh dear. So a D3 means essentially we're going to roll a D6 to replicate if we actually had a dice with only 3 sides on. So the easiest way to do that is a 1 or a 2 is going to count as a 1, a 3 or a 4 is going to count as a 2, and a 5 and a 6 is going to count as a 3.
I got a 3, so it'll be 2.
2 go in the damage pool. We go from 1 to 3. We now need to allocate some damage to some models because we've only got a health of 2. So who do you want to kill?
I'm sorry. No.
And then we leave 1 point of damage back allocated. Kill a big rat. 5 attacks with the great hollowed hammer.
All
3
right.
hits.
Let's see, wounding on 3s.
That's 4 damage, and the poor rat ogre is gone.
Yes.
Claw time.
Now Mubin, would you like to fight with your rat? Oh,
Oh.
he's dead. Okay, so
I will fight with my clan rats, though. We have a Skaven infestation in the studio, apparently, everyone. So we're just hitting on 4s and winning on 5s. 5s. Ooh, look at those 6s.
Oh my gosh.
6 wounds. You're getting still the benefits from all-out defense because that ends at the phase.
Gone.
Any ones?
Nope.
It's now time for
Hammer time.
you're in 3, so you don't need to pile in. You can just fight at this stage, okay?
Okay.
Now, there are advanced tactics around piling in. That is something that we do cover on some of the courses at Vanguard Tactics, is to what really getting the most from those abilities. But I think you're fair game just to try and kill the Claw Lord. 2 attacks from the Great Hammer. Remember, you got those critical hits of the 6. Are going to do 2 mortal wounds per 6 you roll.
Not again. Not again.
You can do it. Double 6, double 6,
Double
double
sixes?
6. Come on.
Ooh.
right. Well, no. Nope.
That's a 1 and a 6.
So you still get 1 6 in there. Claw Lord's going to take 2 damage so far.
And then the other Warhammer is 2 attacks.
6 and 3.
Okay, so 1 mortal wound.
Okay. 5.
Successful.
So I'll be taking a 5-up save here because he has a save of 4.
You love it.
But he will take that 1 mortal damage from that hammer. He's taken 3 damage so far. End of my turn, I will actually continue to score the 1 primary point for my home objective.
Yep.
2 for the engineer, still scoping out this one over here.
Yep.
And I will score 4 for my battle tactic. Oh, wait, no.
Oh, wait.
I won't. I lost a unit.
The counter charge here that killed the Rat Ogre
Well
has
played.
stopped Mubin from getting his battle tactic.
I end my turn with a total of 12 points
Okay.
to your 7.
All right, we've got some catching up to do then. Okay, Goldie,
Yes.
it's your turn. What battle tactic are you going to choose?
I want to slay the entourage.
Kill one of the units from the general's regiment. There is an easier one that I've seen. It's called Slay the Tyrants.
Slay the tyrants.
All you need to do is kill 1 enemy hero. And there's this lovely Grace here that happened to do so many mortal wounds to himself, he's nearly dead anyway.
Let's do that.
Yeah, okay. Which unit would you like to have the 5+ ward save on?
Vigilant.
Vigilant, good choice. Your finest hour on Lord Verrington. Next up, you've got that prayer that we spoke about earlier. You've already got a 3 in the bank. It goes off on a 6, you just need to roll a 3 or more. Is a 5. So that is a total of 8. Now it's been successful, you need to pick a friendly infantry unit with it wholly within 12 inches. The other unit you can choose is yourself. Who do you want to pick, the Liberators or give yourself another attack?
Kinda want to make him go off the chain.
I'm going to spend a command point for magical intervention. Grace here is going to try and pick off these pesky liberators. See if I can do it. That's a 9.
You can still unbind it though.
No.
D3 mortal damage.
Oh dear.
The full 3.
It's a full 3, and you've only got 3 wounds remaining in that entire unit. The Liberators have been wiped off the face
They've
of
been
the earth.
liberated, one would say.
That was a bit of a blow, that, I'm not going to lie. Time for the movement phase. Prosecutors in this celestial realm, I think it's probably time you should bring those in.
I think so.
So you could drop down here, in this area. You're 9 inches away from the Claw Lord. You could drop down over here, and then make a charge into the Grey Seer. They have a really cool rule as well, where their coherency is 2 inches.
I will still go for a redeploy.
It's gone for the redeploy.
The Grey Seer.
He's going with the Grey Seer anyway.
Go, Grey Seer, go! Oh, only 2 inches.
Measly 2.
Get a little bit further away.
Shooting phase time. You actually have some guns now.
Yes.
You've got some javelins to throw. They're all within 10 inches, and they can all see. 1 shot each. So 1 javelin thrown per prosecutor.
Bracier.
Go for the Grey Seer.
Wow.
Don't worry about it. So they all miss. Move in.
Okay.
You got off very lightly there.
Ratagast lives for now.
Just do some charges.
Lord Vigilant.
That's more than enough. Kill everything.
Kill everything.
Whilst doing so, we've now put ourselves within combat range of the objective. So if we kill all this, we may steal Mubin's objective. Great play.
Yay, prosecutors.
When they make a charge, they don't just roll 2 dice. They can roll an additional, and you add it all together. What have you rolled? Now, you could spend a command point here and re-roll the dice.
Forward to victory.
Come on. You've made it. Gets within the 9 inches. One last charge to make. The Lord Veritant will move the 4 inches to there. Good charging. 3 for 3. I'd be looking to go with him. All out attack. We're going all in.
All out defense.
So 1 attack with your staff, you need a 2 to hit. Let's do it.
I'm okay with this.
It's fine, we've got a flaming sword.
I believe. Rend 1 going to rend nothing thanks to all out defense.
Yep.
4s. I only made 1.
So the damage is D3.
3 and 2.
A 3 and 2, so that is a total of 3 damage movement.
It is my time to fight back. I am going to try and kill these prosecutors before they kill probably my Claw Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you've done damage to my Claw Lord, you've triggered his cornered rat ability, which means I now get 8 attacks with his halberd.
4 and up.
Yep. Okay, 1 is dead.
And then the Knobbeast. So he gets 1. Can he get a 3?
I don't know. Yes, he can get a 3.
Rend 1 D3 damage.
Oh dear. Thank goodness.
Didn't quite go the way I wanted it to, but it was worth a try.
The prosecutors get +1 damage when they make a charge, and you have made a charge, so they're +1 damage this turn. Claw Lord? Okay. When you have a champion in a unit, they get an extra attack. So, one model will get 3, and the other model will get 4 attacks.
I like that.
3s to wound. Okay, well done.
I still have all out defense.
You do?
So 4s. Okay. The Grey Seer Radagast is going to go with 3 attacks,
Yep.
hitting on 4s, wounding on 4s.
Okay.
But they have Rend 1 D3 damage each.
Oh, actually, that could be quite painful. Yeah.
He hits twice, wounds only once.
Okay. Nope.
But you still got that 5+ ward save, so what
So
is
I
the
got to do
damage?
damage D3. For the full 3,
Okay, so now you need to roll 3 dice and see if you can shrug the damage using your ward save.
All right.
Needing 5s.
All right.
Roll any?
I see 1.
Okay, so then we're going to allocate 2 more points of damage to Lord Vigilant and Buckbeak.
Okay.
You need this hero dead. You have failed to kill Claw Lord.
Yeah.
Okay? If you don't kill
Radagast.
Ratagast, you're not going to get your battle tactic. Oh, you didn't need the 6s, but you've got them. It's actually Ren 2. He's gone.
I told you to split for a reason. You don't have any other combats to fight back with, so I can pick my clan rats as I please. They're all gonna look at the Lord Vigilant and go, scree! I've got my 8 attacks. Rats go scree. And then 2 more to wound.
I knew it.
No, you have 3 of them to make.
Oh,
You
I
have
have
2
3
more.
of them.
Just don't keep doing that. Yeah, stop it. Oh.
Okay.
So you still get your 5-up ward save.
Okay, cool. Oh.
Okay.
one
Only take 1.
So 1 more damage taken. And what I recommend is piling in round this way, and then if you get the next turn, you could fall back and steal this objective by using that pile in to get you a little bit closer to here as well.
21 attacks. Rats go scree.
Yeah.
Either. Of course you did.
7 wounds.
No rend.
Okay, so just anything but ones.
Here we go. Huh.
You're okay.
Yeah, I'm okay.
2 wounds will be allocated to the Lord Veritan.
Can get D3 rats back in the unit that's in combat with the Vigilant. 1.
Bring a rat back. What's he doing in there?
He's just coming out of the warp stone. Don't mind him.
How long's he been there? At the end of your turn, moving swiftly on. Objectives that you hold will be 1 for your home territory objective.
Fantastic.
Additional 2 for holding the 1
Nice.
in the midfield. However, you're going to score an almighty 5 points for controlling move-ins. But unfortunately, it's capped at 6. So you just score 6. You also slayed a tyrant. You killed a hero, 4 victory points for that. So that's going to get you a total of 10 points.
I like that.
That does, I think, put you in the lead to 17 to Mubin's 12, which means going into battle round 3, Mubin, you will be the
Underdog. Oh, yeah, okay, you're right. It's the under rat.
Time to roll for the initiative.
Let's do
The
it.
all-important initiative. Got a 3.
I got a 6.
You've done it. Now, Goldie, you could let Mubin carry on and have the turn that he's due, or you could seize the initiative. You won't be able to score a battle tactic, but to be quite honest, there's not really many that you could do right now. However, what you could do is just obliterate Mubin.
So are you going to go for the decisive strike, or are you going to let me try and do something?
You know, I think I'm gonna have to go with obliteration.
Now, Mubin, you're going to get 5 command points. Goldie, you're going to get 4. And we're going to start off with, you can't pick a battle tactic, so straight into the hero phase. Who do you want to give a 5+ ward to?
Lord Vigilant.
Your finest hour, there's only 1 unit left to choose, so that's going to go on the prosecutors. We'll see if you can heal with your priest. It's a 5. That will be successful. You can now pick one of your units to have D3 wounds back on. Maybe just yourself.
Let's do that.
1, sounds good. There's no movement to do because everybody's in combat, and I'm assuming you don't really want to retreat. That's not really the Stormcast way.
Nah.
Thanks to your prosecutors being in combat, they can't really shoot anything, but my engineer, on the other hand, will spend a command point, and we're gonna go covering fire, try to maybe take a couple of these prosecutors out. 2 shots. I hit with 1. Can I wound? He does.
Fail. And what was the damage?
D3. Can I at least take one of them down? No, I only do a single damage.
Okay, so we're going to put an allocated wound to the prosecutors. Okay, so now we're into the charge phase. You can't make any charges because you're all already in combat. So we're now straight onto the fight phase. I'd go with a Veritant. All-out attack for one of those command points into the Claw Lord.
We're gonna try and keep him alive.
1 hit with the staff, hit on a 2.
Let's do it.
Wounds on a 2.
Oh boy.
All right.
It wounds.
2.
Rend 1. It's a 5.
right.
Down to the flaming sword. Only one of them.
No.
D3 damage.
He only has a wound left. So the Claw Lord is down.
Yes.
To make it even better, we're gonna all-out attack with those little rats.
Oh no.
Scream! 11 saves, no rend.
So he's to save.
So we're going to take the damage pool up to 4.
He's still alive.
Okay, now Goldie, you can pick another unit to fight with.
Lord Vigilant.
Great roll. Believe. Yeah, nice. That is 4 at Rend 2. Okay, so no save, because the Rend goes straight through. 2 damage each. That's a total of 8 damage.
Ooh.
Oh!
All the rats are dead. So we're going to pile in with the prosecutors. You're going to get 7 attacks because you've still got that champion.
Wow.
I make 2 of them.
At the end of the combat phase, you get to bring some rats back. How many do you bring back?
Yeah. Only 1.
So to conclude your turn, you will score another 6 points because you still hold Mubin's objective and you also hold your own. So that's another whopping 6 points.
23-12 in favor of Goldie. After that round 3, can Mubin catch up?
Slay the entourage.
I love it. Good choice.
If he kills the prosecutors with his Slay the Entourage battle tactic, he could be within a single point.
And just in case the His gun fails him. He's gonna come in with a knife. We're gonna all out attack.
I think it's time we all out defense. You need to keep these prosecutors alive. This could deny, slay the entourage.
I'm gonna use his Warscroll ability. More power. Not a 1. It's a 4. I get both hits.
Nice.
Come on, wounds. Only 1 wound.
All right.
Okay, that is going to be flat 3 damage. We already have some wounds allocated to us. That is going to take our pool up to 4. We've got a big problem. Slay the entourage has been achieved.
As tempting as it is to send the engineer after the Lord Veritant, I don't think his knife is gonna punch through that armor. No. So I'm gonna stay put.
You got 2 CPs, let's do it. Counter charge. So you're going with Lord, Vigilant, make your charge roll.
Right.
See what you get. 7.
Not quite enough.
Mubin, at the end of your turn, you are going to score 5 points for this objective. 2 points for this objective. So that's going to get you the 6. You get your battle tactic for another 4 points. That's a whopping 10 points.
Yeah.
See who's going to be going first.
I rolled a 1.
3.
You're going to keep the initiative?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
All right, so I'm gonna do take their land. Vigilance there to go.
And pick this terrain feature. Any charges you want to make?
Veritant.
Okay, 5. Into the clan rats.
Yep. Charge!
Vigilant into the engine seer.
Charge.
What have you got?
5.
That's in.
Bam.
You need to kill this model or go all out attack.
All right.
You need to claim that piece of terrain.
I'm gonna take that all out defense.
Let's go with it.
So 2s to hit. Okay, cool. 1 miss.
6s. Just the 1. He still has 1 left.
Okay, it's gonna be down to Buckbeak. 3 attacks, hitting on 3s.
It's time for him to have a snack. He's earned it.
He has.
2 wounds, rend 1.
I feel 1. That is a dead engineer.
He's gone. So Mubin, your attacks now with your clan rats. We failed enough. He is gone.
Oh no!
Just clawed to pieces.
So that concludes your turn. Pretty successful though. This was unfortunate, but he did his job. You will get 2 for here, 5 for here, so that gets you the 6 points again on the primary. You get your battle tactic for a whopping 4 points. That's another 10 to your score.
She scores another 10 to go up to 33 to 22, and Mubin can't catch even with 10 points.
We're gonna take their land.
I think take their land.
I think it's the time.
And you're gonna move here?
We're just gonna move forward,
Shock.
take the land, and
Take the objective.
take the objective and score a massive 10 points, because I still have this one.
It's 33-32 for the Stormcast. A single point game.
Goldie, it's been a pleasure. You've learned incredibly quickly and incredibly well. Mubin,
Steven,
congratulations. You did fantastic.
Good game.
good game. It was a blast.
Are you gonna play again?
Yeah, I'd like to actually.
Mubin?
Oh, definitely.
Wow, that was a fantastic game. That was a ton of fun to watch.
It was such a good game.
So much fun to watch. And if you really enjoyed what you saw there, make sure to check out Stephen Box's Vanguard Tactics AOS Learn to Play.
Yeah, it's one of the courses that we've designed, very similar to the Warhammer 40,000 one we had. We've had such great feedback on our format where we break down each of the phases into small mini games. So we really help you not only understand the rules clearer, but also it's a great format to maybe pick up with a friend, maybe you could teach your son using the format, and it really helps you understand some of the tactics and theories as you go.
So if I signed up, I could take that information, take those lessons, and do them with my son.
That's it, we give you downloads, mini games, and you often just find yourself, oh, do you want to do that game again? Just to really reinforce the core rules, whether it's moving over terrain, screening, move blocking, or getting down and dirty in the charge phase and fighting in the combat phase. And that's something that we really, really hope you take on. We also have a scaling version to help you go from very small-sided games right the way up to larger ones. So you spend less time reading the rulebook and more time actually playing at the tabletop.
Which is really the goal for any tabletop game.
Yeah, it can be difficult when you're just reading a rule to understand exactly how does it work. So we break it down and we show you in a much more clearer format, and we take your time with it. So if that sounds something like you would love to do, then check out the link in the description and we'd love to see you on the course.
That sounds like a great way to go. And like Steven said, check it out in the description below and sign up for the Vanguard Tactics How to Play AOS.
And thank you, Steven, for actually joining us and teaching us how to play Age of Sigmar. It's been fantastic.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure.